I'm ready.
All right, we are recording. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Saturday version of the Ply Magazine vlog. Today, we're going to talk about the double-coated issue, which you can see the little sheep back there behind me. Oh, I never know which way to go. I reset up my room and now I'm super lost. This was a fantastic issue. I don't think we've had this many sheep in an issue, maybe ever, this many breeds. Yeah. And it's also number 33. I still remember your email that you sent. I have it saved that said, I want to do a magazine. What do you think?
And do you remember what you said?
I said, it will make, it'll break your heart. Let's do it.
Yep, that's what you said.
And it's fun.
It seems crazy to me that it's been as long as it's been.
Yeah. And we never run out of ideas.
But that's a lot, like that's years. So here's a little tidbit. You guys know that about 5 months ago, we moved to Bend, Oregon, and we've been renting a place, and we just bought a house here in Bend. We move in next week. But it's the first time in my life that I've ever gotten a mortgage. And up until this, we just bought outright, but Bend is too expensive. And so we got a mortgage. And for the first time, I felt like such an adult because I was able to get a mortgage. And the job that I have, like it's a company that I started, which is so adult.
Yeah.
Like it felt so legitimate all of a sudden that like the bank was willing to recognize that I had a steady income.
Did you like look behind you? Are you talking to me? Yeah.
Have you seen me? Have you met me? So that was kind of awesome. So yeah, it's been 8 years.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
Which seems like 5 minutes. Except for this past year, which seemed like 5 years.
Right. Okay, so
all right, I'm going to talk about what I loved in this issue.
Okay.
I'm going to share my groovy screen. All right, that's not what I wanted. Here I am. Here's the sheep. Jacey will talk more about the cover, but this sheep kind of scares me. It's a very stern sheep. The sheep reminds me of, the teacher that you loved the most in school that was a little scary, but you always worked the hardest for them. That's what this sheep reminds me of. So what I loved, one of the things I loved the most was I got to ask Nancy Bush if she would do an article and do a design for us. And she said yes. This is her crossing paths scarf, which is spun out of a Kinu sheep, which is an Estonian sheep, and spun by an Estonian spinner, who it turns out that, of course, Nancy knows. And the design of it isn't, 100% historic Estonian or Haapsalu, but it's a combination of all of the things that Nancy loves and has experienced in Estonia. I just think it's really beautiful, and it made me a little weepy when I read her article part of it.
I'm going to interject right here about Nancy Bush really quick, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure.
The first time I met Nancy Bush was we were both teaching at Madrona, and I was so intimidated that sitting with her behind me, I was pretending to take a selfie of me with her in the background, so it looked like we were very close, and I kind of put my arm out like it was around her, but she was way in the background, and she saw me do it, and she comes over and she's like, "Can I help you?" And I just stammered and walked away.
Oh,
and for a good year, maybe 2, I thought she hated me.
No,
she didn't really. And we ended up at an airport one time where I talked her through it, or she talked me through it. We talked each other through it. But that was my first time with Nancy Bush. Okay, go on.
I worked when she was doing all the sock knitting books.
Mhm.
The start of the big Nancy Bushness was when I worked at Interweave. So I have known her for a very long time, but I hadn't talked to her for a long time until 2 Marylands ago. We were teaching across the hall from each other, and that was fun. Okay. This was a great experience. Janine Bages, who has a website called the Feral Knitter.
Yep.
Which was a mispronunciation of one of her friends when she said ferile knitting. She heard feral, so she's kept it forever. She's been doing and studying and teaching ferile knitting for 20 years. And she just does the most beautiful work, and she is a wonderful teacher and has a great eye for color. But we asked her to design, and she had this vest that she had started, which is an homage to Northern Exposure, the Arrowhead County vest. And she had started it with her own hand spun, which she didn't think was good enough. So we were like, okay, we had some fiber dyed and had fiber spun. And when the fiber got to her, it didn't work. The colors weren't quite right. The spinning wasn't the size that she wanted. So we said, so what's wrong with your yarn? And she really felt that her own personal yarn was not good enough until, even though she's been spinning for decades also, until she knit up her vest. Look how beautiful it is. And I love the little, her little box of lessons that she learned. That's part of the article. Don't rush, but try to do it all at once. Recard preparations that aren't working. Keep good records. Buy a lot of each color. I love anyone that says shop more. Don't let perfectionism stand in the way, and finished is beautiful, and ignore your inner critic and keep going. I thought that's fab.
We had to, I kind of had to bring those tips back for the model here. If you guys don't know, that model is our photographer, Bernadette.
Oh, yes. I forgot to say bonus beautiful Bernadette. It's in my notes, but I didn't say it.
But so once again, we're shooting during the pandemic, and so we don't get models. The Nancy Bush scarf was being held by the fingertips by my daughter and Bernadette's daughter, and Bernadette had to do the modeling because I am a terrible model. And she, of course, is always insecure and doesn't want to do it. So we had to go through the same thing. Beautiful, ignore the inner critic, keep going. And again, it's gorgeous. So.
Oh, that's a great story. She looks so beautiful. The light is stunning.
Oh, I know there were these like beautiful cattails, and it was really beautiful. And Bernadette is always beautiful. And
the last thing that I loved was this article about Icelandics. I'm a little obsessed with Icelandic sheep right now. I'm lucky enough to be going to Iceland and co-hosting a fiber trip in 2022. So I'm 100%, if not 1000%, into everything Icelandic. And I just love how chubby they all are. It's such a great picture. I just want to walk up and stick my hands into their fleece. It's really fantastic. All right, Jacey, what did you love?
Well, first, let's figure out how to share my screen. Sharing my screen. Am I sharing yet? Am I sharing? Is it sharing?
It's sharing, but it hasn't showed up. There he is. Stern daddy.
Before I get into what I love, I'm going to tell you how, can you guys see these little people along the bottom? Is this a problem? Oh, okay, good. Is the cover. So when we did this before, I had this whole big thing where we showed you 5 covers and everyone got to vote. And the cover that everyone chose is not this cover. The cover that everyone chose is, nope, that's not how it happens, is this cover.
Oh, that's cool.
And the cover that we did choose was not actually even a choice because it was already laid out inside as a double page spread, the Soy Sheep, and it was this beautiful spread. So we all chose this. We were very happy with it. It literally was at the printer. And I looked at it a little closer and I realized that the print resolution did not make me happy. And so we had to rush, like seriously, the plates had been made already. I think it was like, we had to remake 2 plates. We had to rush and get a new cover, design it, upload it, and have them do this new cover because I couldn't stand it. Let me show you up close. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
It was,
I remember that text. We have to pick a new cover in 30 minutes.
we have 30 minutes.
How about the sheep?
So we ended up picking that one, which I love. And we don't normally use a cover that also we have inside, but this time we had to because it was an emergency. Okay, so that's the cover. Things I love about this issue, all the sheep. Look at all the sheep.
The Raka, the one with the horns in the corner.
Right?
That is killer.
And the Kinu sheep, which I think is just like the most come hither look I've ever seen on a sheep. And this beautiful Old Norse with the like, where Elizabeth, our layout design person, like how she merged the two together, the painting and the sheep and just all the sheep. It was just amazing. That was my favorite part of this issue, is just all the sheep.
Look at them all. Look how different they look.
Yes. My favorite sheep, my favorite thing in the issue is the North Ronaldsay, which maybe you guys had heard of. I had never heard of, which is actually one of my favorite things about this issue too, is that I learned so much because I didn't really know anything about these sheep. But this sheep in particular is a seaweed eating sheep and has evolved in a fairly short amount of time to pretty much only eat seaweed because of their location, which is awesome, right? Awesome. I actually contacted the museum that is on this island that takes care of them. And they sent me these 2 beautiful photos, this one and another in the issue, of these sheep. I just found them just super fascinating, and them against the ocean is just beautiful. So that's my favorite thing that I learned in this issue. The other favorite thing is in the scenes of this illustration. So you guys probably know primitive breeds, they do ruing, right? So they rub themselves on stuff to like help remove their coat. The first time we asked our illustrator, Kayana, to illustrate this is what she came up with.
That's great.
We were like, actually, I didn't even notice it at first. I showed the kids and I'm like, what is this? Does this look good? And they were both, the kids were both like, not exactly. So I went to
the look on the sheep's face.
Well, then I went to Kayana and I was like, okay, so the kids say this looks like this. Can you try again? And so she came up with this. Which I think is even worse. Like, hello? Oh my gosh, I'm so ashamed. So that is one of my, and so we went, it was actually Elizabeth. I went to her and I was like, how can we show this without making this sheep look so ashamed? And she came up with this idea. And so Kayana did this, which I thought was beautiful. So that's that is one of my favorite things. I always like sharing the kind of behind the scenes, because the issue never starts how it ends. And I think
even in the middle,
right? Even in the middle. So, so that is my favorite. And I'm going to stop my sharing and go back to you.
Hey, I'm going to do my usual thanking people that gave us fiber and tools. But first I wanted to mention the Spinning Loft, who they advertise with us, but they weren't necessarily in the issue. If you are interested in trying raw fleece, but don't want to buy whole fleeces. If you don't know, the Spinning Loft sells fleeces in small amounts, in 4-ounce amounts. And Allison Pakuska, who owns it, is fleece obsessed, and she sources really wonderful, excellent quality fleece, and it is absolutely a fleece playground. And if you're new to fleece, you can email her and ask her to help pick with what they have in stock, your very own, little breed study, if you want to do dual coated, or if you want to do another kind of sheep, or, give me 3 breeds that are easy to do for a first timer. She absolutely will help you. I buy little amounts of fleece from her a lot when I'm curious about breeds. Though more and more I've been buying whole fleeces. That's another story. So our independent spinner this time, there will be links on the YouTube video to all of these companies that have websites, but there were so many, I didn't do individual slides for each of them. For fibers, we want to thank Mossy Springs Ranch, Spotted Sheep Farm, Woodhalla Tunis, Cunnington Farms, Uppsuni Mini Mill in Iceland, Icelandic Highland Ewe, SaltMarch Ranch, Lofoten Wool, Steinar Granheim, Beersheba Farm, Hidaway Farm, Enno Farm, Thistledown Flock, Aerie Farm East, and for tools, Camaj Fiber Arts. They do this little spinner's control card. Cynthia Wood Spinner, who did the wraps per inch tool here, and Clemes and Clemes, who have this new pop lock. And the wheels that we used in this issue, SpinOlution Firefly, a Schacht Matchless, and a Majacraft Aura.
I always like that you do this part because I am so afraid of mispronouncing.
I'm sure I mispronounced lots of people, but yes. Don't ask me to pronounce. Well, yeah. I try. I do my best.
Okay. What's next?
I saw the Hungarian sheep last year outside of the Budapest at a historic. Is that the Raka sheep, Susan?
Yeah.
So the horns?
Amazing. Yes.
How do they? Well, I guess they would have to open the barn doors all the way. I just expect them. When I saw that sheep, it reminds me of the videos that people put online with their dogs when they try to get in the house with a huge stick and they just like hang up the door. I guess you'd have to be graceful and tip his head.
Okay.
Oh, flyaway is the next thing.
That's me. So
Next
flyaway.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. And we weren't sure when we'd be able to do it again, but we are having it. I'm going to put it up real quick. Share. Does this work? There. Flyaway 2. No, Flyaway 22. I had to use the.
Now you went back in time. You please step out of the TARDIS.
I had to use the old graphic, and then I just copied it so it says 22 like it's the year. See? So Flyaway 22 is now officially April 19th through 23rd. Even though I'm in Bend, we're still going back to Kansas City, and I am so excited to see people in person and spin with everybody. The schedule will be up in early June, and we'll have registration in October again. So there we go, Flyaway. Very exciting.
If you come anywhere near me at Flyaway, I will hug you. I'm so hug deprived of all the fiber people. And I will have the big pile of fiber in my room, my teaching room. If you want to come have your picture taken in the big pile of fiber, I guarantee it will be there. I don't travel without it. My spinning, my rolling stash. All right. So the folks at Deadalus Spinning Wheels, who do these groovy electric wheels, there's 2 over here that I have, sent Jacey and I each one of their new Sparrows, which is their smallest wheel, to try out. So look how small it is. I have stats.
I can even hold it with my hand I just had surgery on.
Oh,
So light.
all right. So here's my little Daedalus, the Sparrow. It is carbon fiber and 3D ABS plastic, which you will learn more about the different kinds of 3D plastic in the next issue, electronic issue, thanks to Laura Linneman, who wrote about that. You can set this wheel up in either Scotch or Irish tension. The bobbin, they say it holds 5 ounces, but I've seen lots of people put more than that on that. It weighs 1.5 pounds, and it is 8 inches long, 6 inches wide, and 7 inches high. It is, it's perfect for traveling. You can throw it in a big bag. Should be kinder to it than that. Be kinder to it than I am, because I tend to just put it in my knitting bag. The price is $400 for the wheel and 3 bobbins. You can get it with or without this control box. And if you is $400 without the control box, it's an extra $110 for the speed controller. And this speed controller is interchangeable with all of their most recent wheels. I have it here, and I was going to spin a little on it to show you. Mostly, you know, so I get to play with all of my camera setups.
You're so fancy.
I'm fancy. Okay, so the other electric wheel that I have is a Hansen, and it's the first version of a Hansen. So it has the speed control that's, you know, like a TV knob, old school TV knob. Some of you might be too young to know that we used to turn that way. So this is the first time I've used a speed control box. The Hansen Pro has one of these also.
I did not know that. I didn't realize their new ones had speed control like that. I
The
thought
Hansen, yeah, the Pro comes with it, and I think you may be able to set up an older one with a box.
fancy.
It's an add-on option. Thank you, Laura. Laura did a little, she did all the research on electric spinners for the next issue. And she's awesome. So it has a slow start. It doesn't just pull it right out of your hand, which I love. And it's quiet. Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it at all.
And you can dial up the twist,
Have you
dial down the twist.
Have you messed around with changing? It has these controls where you can change the delay when you start it and the delay when you stop it. Have you
Yes,
messed with those?
you can lengthen or shorten it. But right now I quite like the 30 seconds, though I may change it to shorter, because there are times, especially when I'm spinning fine and fast, that and maybe I did it unconsciously, where I stop it and then I grab the wheel, that it doesn't stop fast enough.
I have shortened my start because I have several times started it and then I'm like, what is wrong? Why isn't it starting?
For me, it's the stop.
Gotcha.
This is, before somebody asks, this is Abstract Fiber Company. The colorway is Deschutes. I love this. This is BFL and silk. She does a really great job. This color right now is one that excites me. I don't know what I would call it. Caramel?
That's always one that excites me. You guys can tell by my shirt and my jacket.
Yes, and Jacey and I are the green queens also. So here is it on the side. This is set up in Scotch tension right now. Here's the brake band. Here's the drive band. To change it to Irish tension, you can click off this motor. I won't do it because it'll go flying across the room, I'm sure. And turn it around and put the motor in the back and move the brake band to the front. It's really easy, and all of the Deadalus wheels do that now.
So fancy.
The new ones, yes. That's what I love. Do you want me to show? Anybody want to see anything while I have it here? Jacey has a special spinning guest for hers.
I do.
Hey, Jillian, do the bobbins come apart? Do they pop apart like the acre ones do, or they stick?
No, they're small. They are, they do not.
Okay. And then my next question is, does it move around a lot? Have you had to put a little plastic thing underneath it, or, rubber, so it doesn't move?
It
when
has
it's-
sticky feet.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And it is, and they also sell their own, room is like Mary Poppins bag. I have stuff everywhere. They sell their own battery pack, and it is the perfect size to stick right under it, and that holds. If you feel like things like here, if I had the battery pack, I would put I have a stack of silicone pot holders that I can't put my hands on right now that I put underneath that keep it from moving.
Okay.
I did not know they had their own battery pack too. That's fancy. So I'm going to attempt to make this work. Someday I'm going to get better with the slideshows and the Zoom meetings and the PowerPoint but my guest is not here in person, but we did this yesterday. And his name is Zeke. Are you guys ready? Okay, here we go.
I am.
I think it's, and can you guys see that?
No, you can share.
Of course I didn't. Hang on.
But you had that very cute, soft look on your face that moms get when they look at their kids.
All right, share screen. This one. Share.
Don't see it.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to do a little thing about how I teach kids to spin, which is actually really similar to how I teach people to spin in general. The number one thing I find is to be super chill and to break it into smaller parts. We're at 40. Our speed is 40. Okay, so here's what we're going to do a wool. You can't see? Here, so we're going to.
I can hear you, but we can't see.
How can you not see? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, it was paused for some. Okay, let me see if I can share. I am going to get this. Share.
So you're sharing desktop. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes.
I think you clicked right beside it for the whiteboard.
Okay. Now share. Do you see now?
Yes.
Now do you see?
Yes. The cuteness.
Speed is 40. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a woolen spin here. So we're going to pinch and pull back the fiber a little bit. Pinch and pull back. Notice how I'm not pulling back very far each time. If I pull back too far, I get really thin in spots and thick in spots. But we're going to start with just pulling back a little bit each time. Pull back, pull back, pull back. If I notice it get too thin, I'm just going to hang out there for a second. No stress, and let it gather a little more twist. And now what happened? It's too thick. It's not too thick. It's just thick. So here's what we're going to do. You ready? Pinch, pull back, pinch, pull back, pinch, pull back. I'm going to do the pinching and you're going to do the pulling back, okay? Next one, hang on. We're at 40. Our speed is 40. That's the same one. Okay, so here's what we're going to. Okay, so it's easier to do one job at a time when you're learning. And he is learning right before your eyes.
How old is he?
He is 10.
You're going to pull back. Booster. Pinch, pull back. Just a tiny bit. Pinch, pull back. And do it a little faster.
I do this in class too when people are having a difficult time.
Pinch, pull back. That is perfect.
Breaking up the tasks.
Pinch,
I do one
back.
and they do the other.
What happened when you pulled back farther?
Super thin.
Yeah. So watch. If we just let it, no, don't pull back yet. If we just let it sit there and now pull back, it'll get thicker. The longer we let this twist go into the fiber, now feed it in. Oh wait, you're getting ahead of us. Okay. Now I'm going to do the other hand. I'm going to do the pull back and you're going to do the pinch. You ready? You pinch with this hand. Do you pinch with that hand? Or do you hold your fiber with? Yeah. So pinch. Tell me when to pull back. Pinch, I'll pull back. Pinch, I'll pull back. Pinch, I'll pull back. Pinch, I'll pull back. Pinch, pull back. All right, now, you think you can put both those things together?
I thought you might fall, Jacey.
Pinch. Remember you pinch? Yeah. So it's just the same thing you were doing, except you're putting it together. Pinch, pull back. Remember you pull back a little faster.
He's totally
You're gonna
never
get
done
thick
this
'cause
before.
yeah, that's it. Pinch, pull back.
I'm kidding. He's done this before. Hang on, almost done. Nope, that's the wrong one.
Nice. Are you making a woolen or a worsted yarn?
Woolen.
What speed is your wheel set at?
33.
Is that your favorite speed?
Yes. I love it.
Would you like it to be faster or slower?
I would like it to be 4 faster.
4 faster.
Very exact.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do you have any tips for anybody if they're trying to learn on this wheel or spin on this wheel? Do you have any tips? Should they start at 100?
No, they should start at like 25 and then get faster. I wouldn't recommend ever doing it at 100.
Do you have any tips?
Hang on, wrong one.
85. 90.
I don't quite have it set enough for that speed.
95.
Who's filming?
Speed
Levi.
100.
I can only do it in long draw though.
Can I try?
Yep. Do you want to do both hands?
Yeah.
Got to do it fast.
Hello.
Okay.
Mom.
Mostly pulling back. You're using more front hand than back hand. Yeah, that's it.
Ah,
Go, 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 go.
And finally, the truth.
Why do you like the sparrow so much?
Because it's adorable and tiny.
Okay, so that is my son spinning. And I will tell you this, he is of all 3 kids, he is the best spinner of them. And long draw is like his jam. He does not care for worsted. It's much harder for kids, I find. Worsted, while adults learn it easier first, or most adults, kids, for some reason, it's too controlled. It's too finite of movements. There's too much going on at once. Whereas a woolen spin or a long draw spin, for some reason, every kid that I've ever worked with, that's the draw that they can get first and easiest and that they're most comfortable with. It's just more fluid. There's less exacting work to do. Zeke doesn't even like to spin worsted. He is a long draw kid.
They also have no fear. Do you think an electric wheel is a good way to teach kids?
I think an electric wheel, all of my kids learned on an electric wheel. They actually all learned on the Hanson. And it is definitely because, so for my kids that started really, really little, none of them could reach the treadles, except for that SpinOlution wheel, the kids wheel, the polywog. None of them can reach the treadles and work the hands at the same time. And even if they can, even if they're old enough or big enough to do it, I still find that separating out the tasks makes it easier for kids. So having to figure out how to treadle and keep your hands going at the same time is hard for adults. But I think for teaching kids, an e-spinner is definitely the way to go.
And I think there's a lot less stigma. There used to be, it's like the paper book and audiobook argument. It's not a real book. When yes, in fact, it is a real book. And sometimes it's better because you get a whole different experience. But I think e-spinners are a great wheel for any level of spinner.
The next issue is our all electric issue. And we talk about that a lot in there, whether it's cheating, the evolution of spinning, but the kids are really drawn to e-spinners. There's something like, you know, new age, like techie about it that they like. Zeke, and apparently I wasn't here, but after we did that, the next day, he had a friend over after school, and they were sitting outside because with COVID, they're wearing masks and they're sitting out on the picnic table. And Zeke came in to get the spinner because his friend, who is also a 10-year-old boy, desperately wanted to learn how to spin. And apparently Zeke was showing him and can spin just fine without anyone else there, but could not teach his friend to spin. But since then, Zeke will get out that. I think it's also easier. Zeke will get out the Sparrow anytime. He'll just like be sitting around and decide, I've got 10 minutes before dinner, and he'll grab it and spin on the kitchen table, which is kind of awesome. It's a less big deal than getting out a wheel if you don't have them out all the time. So I'm a huge fan.
Cool.
Okay.
Before we move on to the next thing, everyone has been too polite to ask, what's up with your arm?
Oh, so I had radial tunnel surgery, which is a very rare surgery apparently that my doctor only does on like 5 a year, and they're only done on rock climbers and stonemasons because essentially you develop your forearms, and the muscle that you develop closes up the canal that the nerve and vessels run through. And so I was in a lot of pain, and it made knitting and spinning and climbing and all the stonemasoning I do very difficult. So I had it a month ago. I was in a full arm cast for like 2 weeks, and then I've been in this thing for 2 weeks, and then I have 2 more weeks, and we'll see how it goes.
All right. And you're good, and you're doing all the things you're supposed to?
And look.
Right on. Well, and you were spinning.
Yes. And
That's the best.
It's mostly just that it's really hard to straighten it. Like I can spin all day now, but the straightening is, and I'm not supposed to do very much with it because it could rupture the tendon, which sounds horrible.
Yuck. I don't like to see anyone that does well, I don't like to see anyone hurt, but people that do any kind of making or crafting, hurting their hands or arms, shoulders, it worries me.
But it's going to be all better, and then nothing's going to hurt anymore.
Good.
And it's not because I'm getting older. It's totally just.
Okay. I wanted to just remind everybody that we do have a YouTube channel. The Ply Magazine YouTube channel is where these vlogs go after the fact, with all of the links of everything that we talked about. We also have a blog, the Ply blog, that it gets updated about once a week. It has books, some book reviews in it. It has articles that we didn't have space for in the magazine. There's always something really fascinating on the blog. And we also have a monthly newsletter, and you can sign up for that on the Ply Magazine website. But I will put links to all of these, except for the YouTube channel on YouTube when we post the video.
Okay.
YouTube link there too, just to mess with people.
I am going to give you guys, as I usually do, a little sneak peek at the issue coming out in about 5 weeks. So it is not at the printer yet. It is still in final layout. So these sneak peeks might change.
Do you want to say anything about the shipping of this issue? Does everyone have their issue now?
I will say something about that. It is my understanding that the United States Post Office is suffering a little bit. I think there's probably a few things going into this. COVID, our new postmaster, and generally everything is running really, really, really slow. I actually before I got mine, I got somebody else's returned to me. So I have not actually gotten my copy yet. I have seen it because I've gotten a return from someone else, but it is running very slow. I have heard most people have it now, but I actually just heard from someone yesterday that just got theirs. So if you have not gotten yours, I apologize. There's not very much I can do about it.
But everybody has an electronic version if they want it.
Yes,
It's part of their subscription.
that's true. So, you know, I hate asking like the people that have, that was their last issue. They have like another month before they have to resubscribe to get the next one. So I'm really hoping that they all arrive before I'm asking, hey guys, resubscribe. Yeah, so they're coming. We did ship them all out at the normal time. We actually shipped them all out about a week earlier this time because we knew everything was running slow. But yeah, so there you go. If it doesn't come, we will of course send you another. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the next one. The next issue is the electric issue. And I think there are some people that are worried that this issue might just cover electric wheels, and they don't really like electric wheels, and so they don't think they're going to like this issue. I promise that's almost never true. We try to come at a theme from all these different angles so that everyone has something in it that appeals or speaks to them. So I'm just going to share a little bit of the sneak peek with you.
I know we have at least 2 authors in our Zoom today. Laura Linneman and Evanita.
Oh yeah, hi Evanita.
I know she missed all the Deadalus talk.
You did. We did so
Oh,
much.
and so did Becca. Here comes Becca.
We did so much, and you guys missed seeing Zeke spin with.
I'll see it in the recording.
Yeah, go back and watch. It's about 5 minutes right before right now. Okay, so I'm going to share again. You guys know I'm good at this. So good. Sharing. Are you there? Can you see this?
I see the baby.
Okay,
It's
Zeke again.
adorable and tiny.
Okay, so we're going to not do that. We're going to go to this one, the electric issue. So here's the TOC, which is magazine speak for table of contents. And there's a bunch of stuff.
Elizabeth has made this look so cool. I mean, the information is cool, but Elizabeth is our designer,
It
has
is amazing.
really outdone herself with this one.
It's very groovy. So we have, of course, all of the like electric spinning, all the e-spinners and all the different ways. Lots of spinning, lots of plying, lots of e-spinners. But we also have dyeing, electric colors, blending electric colors and fibers, conductive fibers. We also have electric carders, electric drills, electric yarns, spinning with electricity, spinning with these little fairy lights, and a spinning nomad, which when I saw, have you guys seen Nomadland? The movie on Netflix?
I haven't seen it yet. It's on Hulu.
Oh, Hulu. It reminded me so much of this article, which I love. We have great projects, which here we have gloves that you can use with your smartphone.
With the conductive yarn that you can spin.
Yes, along with the way to card it, the way to dye it, and of course, the way to spin it. We have this beautiful shawl, and we have this amazing, it was originally a scarf, but I think as a wall hanging, it's just stunning. We also have another project, which I'm not showing you because it's a little bit of a surprise, and it's
felt, right? It's felted.
The wall hanging is
/ wall hanging.
And let's see, that I think that's all the like. I don't have a cover yet. I don't have the whole thing laid out yet, but it is going to be a beautiful issue. And now I have to stop sharing. And we're already, of course, hard at work on the next issue, which is the consistency issue.
Oh, and goats.
And goats are the next issue.
Yeah.
And then we have so many. We have head and hands coming up. We have goats, which we just planned and found all the like fibers and the spinners and
Yes.
a
And
lot.
loft, and yeah, we have tons of ideas. Our themes are cool and exciting.
I'm excited to see what the mix theme turns into. Like sometimes we don't know what it's going to evolve into and what it's going to contain. I'm really excited for we have one called Place coming up, which I'm also excited to see what happens. I get really excited about all the issues. Every issue I think is going to be my favorite.
Well, and everybody that contributes is so creative, and there's always so many surprises when we put out the call.
Yes. The first few issues of the magazine, I will say, I picked themes that I knew the stuff in them, right? Which is good because I kind of had to like go through and shape everything and tech edit and all the stuff. But as we go farther and farther, I get more and more comfortable with picking themes that I don't know very much about at all. Like the double coated, like the primitive issue, I knew really not very much. And the more we go along, the more I realize just how much I learned from doing the magazine, how much I learned from all the authors that write for the magazine, and how like amazing that is for me specifically, because I think that sometimes people think that teachers or spinning teachers know like the breadth of this topic of this craft, but we know
what we like.
Right. So, it's I don't know, I really love now choosing topics that I don't know very much about, because I have realized that I have faith in the people that write for it, that they know more than I do about this or that. And so it's really fun. It's really fun that the magazine can be that I'm talking about just me right now, me, but it's fun for me that the magazine can be that for me.
And I like the themes that are like mix and interpretive dance.
Right?
I like to see what comes in for those.
Well, you came up with that, didn't you? Didn't you come up with mix? Yeah. I'm always very, let's do warmth. But you come up with these really cool, like loose ones. So does Karen. Karen comes up with some good, I think she came up with science, right?
Yes, that's going to be a good one.
Yep. Okay. So lots to look forward to.
Any questions? You guys have any questions, comments? What can we tell you?
Where do we see questions? There's a chat, right? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, so 3D printing is also super cool to teens. I will tell you right now that nothing is cool to Olive. Olive is 14, and all of a sudden she is a teenager, and I am no longer awesome. So there you go.
Question, if you, how do you download it like to your Kindle or something? Can you do that?
The video or the issue?
The issue.
Oh yeah. So when they come out, we ship print issues on around the 8th or the 10th. But the first of that month, so the 1st of March, June, September, and December, in your account on the Ply website is automatically the digital version. So when you go into that, there's just a download button. So you just download it wherever you want it. Just like you download anything. I think that some people, for like their Kindle or their ebook reader, you download it on your computer and then move it into it, just like you would do any other book or magazine.
It downloads as a straight PDF, so you can use it. I use it on, I read it on my iPad, but I use the app Goodreader. I've got all of my magazines in there.
Oh, you download the app Goodreader, and
that's what I use. How do you read any other things on your Kindle or your
mostly iPad? The books I get from Amazon, but I just got a new one, and so I don't know how to really download anything else. So I just go to your website and download it maybe?
Yes, yeah. You just go to the website into your account, and in your account it'll say like digital issues, and every issue that you've gotten digitally, which is every issue from now on, you just download it. You can view it on there, but I recommend to everyone that you download it because it's easier to view on your device than it is to be on the website viewing it. Plus, then you can look at it offline.
Yeah, that's what I, because sometimes when you're waiting for something, then you want to read something and you
Right.
can just open that. Yeah. Okay.
Kathleen had a question about when I fly with my e-spinners. Do I have any trouble? I take them on in my carry-on, and I have spun on the plane with them, which freaks people out in a good way sometimes. But I make sure to take my e-spinner and the battery out and put it in a bucket rather than letting it go through with inside luggage as it gets scanned, because the battery looks like a big brick of something that could be, something bad. And they're just really curious about what the spinners are. If I don't take them out going through TSA, I always get pulled.
That happens.
Yeah, they told me to just carry it on in your purse, and when you go through the line, take it out and show them what you have.
Yep.
And I've never been stopped then.
I do have a friend that has the SpinOlution e-spinner, and they asked him if he was a tattoo artist. They thought it was a tattoo machine for tattooing.
Oh, okay. Any other questions? And thank you. I agree that this issue is the best ever until I see the next one.
Well, and I had to spin some Icelandic, so I was really glad to get that issue. I read about them.
Icelandic are exciting.
They are.
You see them in person.
All
All right.
Are we good?
We're good. Until next time, my friends.
I'm gonna look it through everybody.
Good, everybody.
Yeah,
Evanita,
everybody.
hi. Sarah.
21 or yeah.
Okay. I guess we're out.
All right. See you in another quarter until when the next magazine comes.
Okay.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Stop recording.